Brandon Vietti. I'm the producer. Lego DC Superheroes, Justice League, Cosmic Clash.
Thank you for saying the full thing.
Longest title ever. Slightly shorter than our last movie, which was Lego DC Superheroes, Justice League, Attack of the Legion of Doom. longest title ever. But hopefully that makes it memorable. Have to work for it.
So, after producing so many Lego movies, has there been an idea that you wanted to put in from a famous scene or an arc in a story that you know would be great, but wouldn't be appropriate?
Oh, that wouldn't be appropriate.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you about one scene that I put in. One of my favorite scenes from my Batman comic when I was younger. And gosh, now I can't remember if it was Detective or if it was Batman. Batman used something called the vibrating palm technique. Anybody know this? Vibrating palm technique?
It's a Jim Aparo book, right?
Yes.
He fights all those ninjas in the kitchen.
Right.
He beats one with a frying pan.
You got it. You got it. So I was able to actually incorporate that into the last movie that we did, which was Attack of the Legion of Doom. And Batman goes head-to-head with Black Manta, and he uses it. Of course, he didn't kill Black Manta, but it was pretty fun to see Batman take somebody down with the vibrating palm technique.
Do you know if there was any any deliberate intent in either direction to kind of have the Batman of the Lego movie be similar to the Lego Batman everywhere else, or did you guys try to not look at each other's work when that was going on?
Actually, it just wasn't possible. I think we started before anything had been released, not even a commercial had been seen for the Lego movie, so we had no idea what they were doing with their Batman. And I think we had just set out to really start from scratch for our Lego DC universe. There are these amazing video games which I played through, and they have an awesome DC universe, and their characters are portrayed a certain way. But I think we wanted to have the freedom to tell different stories in different ways, and so we set out to just create our own Batman. And so I think one of the ways we did that was with color. We kind of stuck with more of the classic blue and gray costume. And then, of course, there were the challenges of writing a comedy Batman that we were able to work back and forth on, myself and Jim Krieg, and also with Troy Baker, who brings a lot of comedy to the role. I think we've learned so much about how Batman can be fun and funny through hearing Troy's performance of Batman. And that's all how we write him. And again, the rest of the universe as well. Our voice actors are incredibly talented, have incredible comedy chops, and have taught us quite a bit about how we can be fun and funny with these characters in a way that is still respectful to the characters. I think that's something that we try very hard to do, is make sure that we're laughing with the characters and not at. It's a very important distinction.
I'm just curious what your background on Batman is as a fan. Do you have any particular favorite comics or runs or stories that inspire you?
It was around that time of the vibrating palm technique. I couldn't give you the bracket of issue numbers, but Batman and Detective, in that era, where it was I think
that Jim Starlin stuff.
Yes, and Jim, is it Aparo? Am I pronouncing it? Jim Aparo. So Jim Aparo and Norm Braithwaite, I think, was doing Detective at the time.
With Chuck Dixon.
Yep, and so that was the run that I really kind of grew up reading. And, it sneaks its way into to the projects I work on from time to time.
We're ever going to see that Catwoman's cat summoning device? She can bring 1,000 alley cats to attack her enemies.
That's a great device, actually. Now that you've said it, I might have to look into it. How cool would that be? I know, right? Because Batman had a bat summoning device.
Yeah.
So let's get the
it just
bats
makes
and the cats
sense.
together. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Fight it out.
Right. That's a good idea.
What challenge do you find trying to balance the comedy and then the more serious aspects of the movie? How do you find that balance between the two?
Well, I think we try to tell a story that has some personal value to the characters, and so that becomes sort of the structure of the story. So we do start with that. We try to make sure that we're telling a good character story that has some moments with heart, a bit of weight emotionally. Something serious is going on, and expected to have actual jokes. But you can't have jokes for 72 minutes. You have to have some an ebb and a flow. And so that's where the balance comes in. I think for anybody who's making movies, that's always the challenge. Right? It's like how do you manage that ebb and flow of comedy and drama, and hit the points that feel right to be emotional. So I think I say that's what we set out to do. So hopefully we're hitting that for everybody. But it is a very important balance that we try to strike.
So with this franchise coming up and more movies coming in, with you voicing, would you have any ideal actors to bring in for voicing new characters you're introducing, or just changing it up on things?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's something that we sit down and work out with our partners at LEGO and at DC, and we all kind of get together at the beginning of a new project and we discuss. It's just like playing with toys when you're a kid with your friends. Everybody brings their favorite toys, and you all have story ideas, and it all just kind of mixes together, right? So, and I mean, Jim and I have kind of worked out. We at least started the universe with a starting point, so we know that these characters are sort of growing together. So that becomes kind of the backbone. And then as we meet with our partners and everybody, kind of brings their different ideas together, we can stick it to that backbone. If that makes sense. I'm running a little far with this analogy, but at least having that through line really helps in putting together the different movies as we go. Then comes the new characters, right? So as we progress forward, we like to introduce new characters, and then the discussions are had about who would be the best cast for those characters. And I'm lucky to have been in this business for a while, with a lot of amazing people, and so again, it's another discussion that we have. Jim has also worked with a lot of great people, and we just sit down and talk about it. Like, well, what are the comedy needs of this character? As we bring in a new character, what personality traits do they have from the DC universe? How are we going to spin that into some kind of comedy? Who would really be the best person to voice them? It narrows the list down based on the character. The character that you're working with.
So you're building an intentional progression with these characters. Is there any direction you feel like based off your own feature anywhere you're trying to take them, or a place you want to see them go next?
Yes. I think
Very broadcasters.
it is a pretty but yes, I mean, we have not written ourselves into a corner yet.
Yeah.
It's still very early, so there's so many things to explore with the characters, and there's just no limits right now. I feel like we've got a lot of room to play with all of the characters because we've just started these things.
Are there any small character stories that you think people can look forward to in this next movie? Because in the last one, there was a little thing going on with Cyborg, how he kind of won some respect. Is any particular character that you think stand out in this one?
There's a couple of character stories in this one. We've got another great story with Batman, and I think we've been telling the story of how he's joined the Justice League and his hesitancy to do that at the beginning. And in this story, we kind of play that out a little bit further. And how is he blending in with the gang? How is he working with the Justice League? So that becomes sort of the through line for Batman in this movie.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, guys.